Good morning, church. How's everybody doing today? Wow, this is awesome. Hey, on behalf of West Des Moines Open Bible, I'd like to welcome you here. My name is Noah, for those of you who do not know me. And man, I am so excited for today. It looks a little different. We are doing Sober Soldierz Takeover. Yeah, come on. Hey, I do not want to steal the show at all, so I will get ready to hand things over. We got a couple things that I'd like to announce first, just things that are happening right now in the church and some future events we're looking forward to. But first, before I say anything, man, I'm just so excited you're here. And if you hear nothing else today, I want you to know that even if you don't believe the same things we believe here, even if you don't believe what our vision is, which is just to love God and people well, we want to let you know that you belong here. You have home here. You are safe here. You are welcome here. And we are so excited that you are here with us today. And so with that, announcements. Next week, next Sunday, July 11th, 7-11, we have Baptism Sunday going on. So if you would like to, or you know anybody that wants baptized, feel free to sign up right at that booth right outside of the church there at the Resource Center. The only other thing I have is that July 14th through the 18th, we are doing summer VBS. So if you know anybody that's in the ages of pre-K to 5th grade, we are doing a free VBS. It's at 6:30 to 8:30. So that Wednesday, 6:30 to 8:30, we are doing Vacation Bible School. Like I said, it is free, and then we will finish it out that Sunday here in the morning for church and do a picnic afterwards. So that is all I have. I will hand it over to Sober Soldierz. Good morning, church.
Good morning, West Des Moines Open Bible. I'm going to give you a brief thing of what we're going to do here this morning. West Des Moines Open Bible, and Sober Soldierz came together. They have blessed us with starting our recovery program here. So we're going to open this up just like our normal recovery meeting. We go around and we have a topic meeting, and I'm going to share a little bit with you. But the whole idea is this: me and Pastor Andrew meet quite a bit, and he was on vacation, and we are doing our 1-year anniversary out in the back parking lot. So, and I'll touch on that at the beginning of the meeting, but we're very thankful for this opportunity to intertwine and to show the people of West Des Moines Open Bible that can't make it on Thursday what we do in their building on Thursday nights and here, and the impact that Sober Soldierz is actually making in the Des Moines area. So now I'll welcome you to the Sober Soldierz live meeting. This is a meeting, recovery meeting for anybody in addiction out there. In our meeting, we keep a chair in the center of the room here for an opportunity to pray for the addicts still suffering, to pray for the family members that are still suffering along with them. So we do that. We hold a 1-minute moment of silence or a few seconds here for just give an opportunity to pray for somebody you know that's struggling with addiction. Everybody has some kind of addiction they are struggling with. So we'll open the meeting. We'll do that now, and then we'll follow that by the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Like I said, welcome to the Sober Soldierz live meeting. We do have a microphone that goes around during our meetings for people to share. Our meetings are topic meetings. Pastor Andrew and I kind of got together and we chose an easier topic for today, but we do have a few announcements for Sober Soldierz. This Thursday night is testimony night, and Rachel will be sharing her testimony on Sober Soldierz Thursday night. We also have, if you haven't seen the dunk tank back there filling, we have a bounce house on the way from 2 o'clock to around 9 or 10. We are going to have an event. We have volleyball, bags, yard dice, chalk for the kids, slip and slide, dunk tank, bounce house, and plenty of food. So immediately following this, we got a few people that are going to stick around and help us get set up, but feel free to go home, load up your coolers, grab a lawn chair, come hang out with us and enjoy a Sober Soldierz sober party. That's the kind of the thing we've created is an extra a family, because when you're stuck in your addiction, the people that hurt the most is your family. And so we've created a Sober Soldierz family in the community. We started off as a Facebook group. We do have over 3,000 members in our Facebook group, represented in 28 states, 3 countries, and the reason why we go Facebook Live is because that's how we started out during the pandemic. You know, in 2020 when there was no meetings, we started out on Facebook Live, and so we continue to go Facebook Live for people that can view from their home or that can't get to the meetings, or the people that are out of state. Today's topic, any more announcements? No, I don't think so. Today's topic is, simple topic, so when the microphone comes around, what has God done for you since 2020? Simple topic for you. It's not our typical topic. I mean, we pick different topics randomly, Cody and CJ and I, every week, and recovery related. We thought this would be a good opportunity for, the church to participate with us. So I'm just going to go kick it off. The topic is, what has God done for you for 2020? And I would like to say what God has done for me is visible in this room. I know many of the elders in the church, many people in this church have seen me struggle through my addiction for the last 30 years. I've been coming to this church. Dwayne, my grandmother here, used to pick us up at the school bus. We've been coming here, and they've been coming here to watch the puppet show. I remember those moments coming here, and to bring recovery and such a strong recovery family into this church after being here for 30 years, and the way it's growing and the way the church is uniting, and to offer people in Des Moines a recovery program. Just, something more. AA and NA are very successful programs. We never knock them. We just wanted to offer another form of recovery, a family, an environment. And West Des Moines Open Bible has opened their doors to us, and we have formed, along with other ministries out there, we have formed a recovery community, and it's making a huge impact in Des Moines. We usually fill this room up, average 50 to 60 people every Thursday night. So that's 50 and 60 people that are still not out there, stuck in their addiction or losing their lives to overdoses or anything else. So what God has done for me since 2020 is given us the opportunity, because CJ and Cody are valuable pieces of this puzzle. God has built a puzzle with my life. I struggled with addiction for 27 years, and now I'm here. Every Thursday night, this young, beautiful lady sits at my side and is a huge piece to the Sober Soldierz family. Everybody knows her as Grams, and I couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be more grateful to bring it back into this church. I couldn't be more grateful to call this our home, and I couldn't be more grateful for the love that West Des Moines Open Bible shares with us. And that's all I got, and we'll pass it around.
I'm Angie, a supporter of recovery. And what God has done for me in the last year, a lot, actually. I've thought about this topic a lot lately. One thing that God has done for me, for my family, Emmy will be 2 tomorrow, and at the time that she was before 1, they said she'd never walk. And guess what? She runs to the point where, we have to get a little, leash. So, I really believe that God had a lot of play in that. We were supposed to start speech therapy in May of this year, and I prayed about it. She was at a different child care center, because I've been working at home since March 13th of 20, and so she was home with me for the longest time because she didn't move very much, so I could actually work and take care of a baby. Well, then when she started getting mobile and needed, eye contact all the time, I started taking her to her daycare center, and something happened a few months ago that they couldn't explain to me. And so right after that, when I demanded something to give me, you have to tell me what happened. I'm not okay with just an unexplainable injury. So right then they closed their daycare due to COVID again. And so she went to her backup daycare, and I prayed for the whole week and a half. Before the end of the 2 weeks was over, I said to her, can I not have to ever take her back there? And she's like, oh my gosh, please leave her here. And I swear to goodness, the best thing that's ever happened is we drive clear from Waukee, clear over to by the fairgrounds, to go clear back to Waukee to work. But Anita has been a blessing in our lives. I believe God placed her in our lives for a reason. And we didn't ever have to start speech therapy because this kid talks more, she says more words than we don't want to talk about. So that was another thing I think God helped with. But then also, I had a death recently, and I got to be a part. I got to be a part of the death. Wow, that sounds terrible. But I got to be a part of his death. He was an important human in my life, and I got to be with him until the morgue came, and I wouldn't leave his side because I didn't want him to be by himself. And I remember reaching out to his pastor, but they never made it because the pastor was sick. And I remember I'd called TJ in a frantic, and it was in the middle of the night, and of course he was sleeping, and I didn't want to keep blowing him up. I even reached out to my brother-in-law. He did answer, and we prayed, but still something was just aching at me that we needed to pray more. And so the chaplain at Mercy, I didn't even know it was the chaplain. I just thought he was some random guy that was just walking in and out of the room. But anyways, he came in and was like, "Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "No, I just feel like we need to, something else needs to go on. I haven't felt that feeling yet." And so we played I Can Only Imagine and On Eagle's Wings. And then he prayed with me. And I swear on everything, I felt like this sense of relief came over me, and I felt like his soul left, and it was okay, and that he was at heaven and I was at peace. And I don't do death very well. My son killed himself 7 years ago on July 14th, and I found him, and so I've really struggled with my faith since then. And I usually do horrible with death, but I have had such a sense of peace, and right then I knew for sure God was real. I don't know what it was, but God is real, and my faith has just blossomed since May 4th of this year. And I give it to this church. I give it to a lot of you in here, a lot of my church people in here. Thank you for all the prayers and everything. The love in this church is amazing. So I don't have anything bad to say because the good outweighs any of the bad that's gone on in the last year. So I'm glad COVID's kind of letting our lives, relinquish to being good again. But God's good, and I have good faith in him, and that's all I have to share today. So.
Thanks, Angie.
Oh, and I get up with him every morning. So well.
Sometimes. Hello, I'm Toby, and I'm in recovery. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? Well, today is actually my patriotic Toby version. With the deeper voice, No. Yes, very deep. What God's done for me since last year, okay, it's just kind of like the bait, just scratching the top. I got Maverick since last year, Look at him. Say hello, Maverick. No, he's eating. It's cool. Jesus came and found me. God came and found me in the trap house, man. Showed me something that I never wanted to see. Pulled me out of the fire, And then just the things that there's no way to explain it except divine intervention and coming to find me and bringing me to where I'm at now. Look what Jesus did, And I know that's right. But I got engaged to this beautiful woman right here, which, ow! That's what I'm talking about. July 24th, by the way, 3 p.m. right here in this building. We will be getting married. TJ Vasquez will be facilitating it. Oh, yeah. I know it's going to be awesome. There's just a couple of things. But then the other things that, that I felt like not even trying to attempt at. I have my son Tobias, he's 2 years old. A couple of events you've seen him around here with me. And I've been struggling with, getting to see him here, but it will be over shortly. We are at the cusp of victory on that. But prior to even trying to, I wanted to get done with everything that I need to get done with before I even tried to even get going on it. But something in my heart, something inside me must have been God talking to me. It's like, hey, no, you need to try doing it right now. And then I gotten all of what I've gotten, and I'm getting close to getting them back. Me and Mel finally got a place that we're going to be able to call our own. But, the other things that, that ain't so on the surface, what I'm saying, that God's done for me in my life is that, I know when I was in prelude drug treatment, TJ and Cody came in there, they thought I was still all messed up because my eye didn't blink, and this guy's still all messed up. But no, I wasn't. I was good. I was good at that point. Not that good, but I was good. But it was funny. But, and in those moments at that prelude drug treatment, man, just them two coming in talking about God the way they did. I had this friend that he's not here today, but you'll see him around here sometimes, Mosa. he got in with me and got into Bible study, man. And and then it just kind of took off for me. Every morning, I was like, one of the things I feel like God talks to me in my, a lot of people call it your conscience speaking, but I think I call it God speaking to me, and I let that voice lead me through my day. And that's one of the things that I feel like he's done for me this year, and being in this group right here and just having God and recovery come first, it's nice to be able to, openly talk about my faith. That's what I'm talking about. It's nice to be able to openly talk about my faith and where God has been able to lead me, because Monday through Friday, I got a 5:15 devotion. And, here lately we've been having guest speakers. Mama Sandy was on there Wednesday. I think she's going to do it again with me this next Wednesday. It's a good time, but you know what? Like, yeah, I'm not trying to bash any other program, but you know what? No other program I feel like would took and let me spread my wings the way that I've done here. And that's one of the biggest things that I feel like God put in my life is he put Sober Soldiers in it. And it's allowed me, and with my faith, be able to blossom just in all directions. I could be exactly who I am, the way that God designed me to be, and live it to the fullest and to my best. And you know what? And I thank God for the Sober Soldiers. I thank God for each one of you. And I thank God for America. With that, I'm Toby John, Sober Soldier, Word for God.
I'll take him.
We're fighting over the baby.
I know. I'm sitting down.
I'm Melanie, and I'm in recovery.
Hey, man.
I'm speaking. You're embarrassing. Toby.
The kid don't want me. You can have him.
So what God has done for me, I suppose, has brought me my family. Shortly before I got into recovery, I'd given up guardianship of both my kids just because I wasn't doing well. So, help me get better, help me be a mom again. We do family events like this, which is great. My daughters came a long way. She's came from a broken home before us, and she's blossomed into something real good. She comes to church with us on Sundays. She enjoys it. She sits and she prays about Tobias coming home, which, that's sad, but that's, I feel like it's good that she knows to do that. She's met all of you. Like, I've gotten friends coming here. Like, before I didn't have, actual friends that I could count on. And I didn't really like girls at all. not gonna lie. But I met CJ and Tracy, Rachel. We've all done things. It's just fun. And I don't have to worry about any of the dumb, catty stuff that you would if you were all messed up. Or, like a year ago, you wouldn't have thought me and Toby were what me and Toby are. A year ago today, he stole my car. We weren't getting along at all. It's just 100% crazy of how different we are. And I couldn't, God's the answer to that. And you guys, I'm so thankful that, he has you guys. Because I don't know, I feel like if he fell off, there's a good chance that I might just say, screw it, and I'm glad that he's got all of you, because he's kind of like our backbone, and you guys help keep him accountable. So it makes our life, 20 times better, and now we're ready to start, this happy life, and my kids can see, how it's supposed to be growing up, not, mom's here every once in a while, COVID happened and my kid stayed with my mom. She never seen me, and if she did, I wasn't in my right mind at all. So it was just no way for her to live at all. She lost both parents in no time. But now she's got a guy she considers her dad. They get along better than she gets along with me sometimes, and it's dumb. But I'm just thankful for that, and it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for God and for this program. And with that, I'll pass.
Thank you, Mel. I'm so glad you're back. My name's Tracy, and I'm an addict. I hate it when he does that.
No, it's embarrassing.
Anyways, what has God did for me? God's did everything for me. I can't even start to explain what God's did for me in the last 6 months of my life. When I asked God to come into my life 6 months ago, and I asked him to help me and walk with me in my recovery, God has kept me completely a different person. I changed my environment. I changed my friends. All I hang out with is people in recovery. I've changed everything. I don't get involved in conflict with people. I just let it go and tell whoever that I love both sides of whatever's going on, and I just stay out of it because God has made me such a different person. I'm trying to be a better mom, which is working with my children. I spend time with my grandkids every day. I have a job. I'm a manager of a store. They actually gave me keys to a store. 6 months ago, I would have never had keys to a store unless I was going to rob it. But I have my own place. I have a 3-bedroom house for me and my kids. My son moved in with me, him and his girlfriend. So now I have 2 of my children that live with me. I have a brand new car. I have a new life, and I have all that because of God walking beside me. Because without God with me for those last 6 months, I don't know. I do know where I would have been. But I'm telling you that every morning when I wake up, I say a prayer and I ask God to walk with me in my recovery for the day. God, please keep me clean, walk with my children, walk with everybody in my family, walk with all my friends, When I go to bed at night, I say a long prayer. I've never prayed at night in the morning. The only time I've ever prayed before was when I needed help or when something silly was going on. Then I asked God for help. But I owe it all to this program, really, and I do because of the fact that I've had people in here that showed me how to let God into my life and what God can do for you when you let God into your life. I come to this church on a regular basis every Sunday on Wednesdays for Bible study, unless I have to work. I'm not here. But I've made such a new life for myself, and there's nobody or nothing that's going to tear that down for me. My husband's coming home on Tuesday, and it's going to be very different. It's going to be very different, but I'm not going to control him. I'm not going to he can do what he wants. He can either get involved with church and meetings or he can go his own way. I'm not going to let that come in between me and my recovery. But I just want to let everybody know, if you have God in your life, you have everything you need. You don't need nobody else but God because it's the truth. And I'll pass.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I was actually, God has done a lot for me in the last few months. I might have had a downfall this last May, but without God and Sober Soldiers, I wouldn't have had somebody to help me get back up instead of staying down. So I'm thankful for that. And I have a place of my own instead of living in my car, which is awesome. I've got just like this huge family, and I've got the church family, and it just, from going from having nobody to this large group of people is tremendous. With that, I'll pass. Thank you.
Amanda, glad you're here. We love you.
I'm Tara, and I'm in recovery. Today's an emotional day for me. 4 years ago today, my dad died in my backyard in front of me and was brought back in the ambulance before we transported him to the hospital, which he died 3 more times and found out he was a DNR. And I had to do that on my own with all 6 of my children at my side as they pulled the plug, and my dad took his last breath holding my oldest hand. So today, in my recovery in the last year, God has given me strength and guidance and the voice to be an advocate for others in recovery. Parent partner, we start that this month with the ladies at the House of Mercy, and obviously breaking the chains of addiction. I am now able to approach the courts for guardianship back of my middle child who has special needs. I co-parent with my sister. Her dad is absent and has nothing to do with her. And today I'm blessed to get up this morning and get out of bed Last year, up until last night, I thought my dad had been gone 3 years because it was just another day. This will be the first fourth. I have all three of my children downstairs with me today. Last year, my boys decided they didn't want to be with me. They're tired of mom being depressed, don't want to get out of bed. I'm not moving. It was a bad day for me. But like I said, they're here with me today. They're ready to help set up food, have fun, and enjoy and meeting the Sober Soldiers. God brought me, you guys, out of my shell. I've shared my story that I haven't even shared with some of them at House of Mercy, and I was graduated there 2 years ago, and I go there every month. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. With that, I'll pass.
Hello, I'm Jenny. Hi, Maverick. Hey, buddy. Now I got the microphone. He doesn't look at me. Shoot. Okay, so I started 2020. This should have been a sign. I've come up with conclusions. People should have figured out a long time ago I was a drug addict. So it's their fault in a way. But so I spent New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. So 2020 I spent in jail on the day. Got held for 9 days on an old warrant. I mean, I should have known that I was getting tested. That wasn't enough. So God tested me, and I believe in the tests that God bring you. It doesn't always have to be Satan. It's your choice to make the decision. And so God showed me what my life's going to be like if I continued. And so 2020, I should have probably been federally indicted. I should have died. I should have been multiply raped, but I didn't. I just got to see how miserable I could get. So on Christmas Eve, I got arrested. And on the same day, my mother-in-law passed, and I believe she waited to pass until she knew I was put up because I need to be there for my son. I haven't been able to be a part of his life for the last 3 years because I chose my addiction over anything else. So on Christmas Eve, when I went to jail, I hit my knees. That was it. I was done. No longer wanted to do the life that I was living. And I'm over 6 months clean and sober now. And thank you. Thank you. And I am in Bernie Lorenz, and the very first meeting I came to from Bernie Lorenz after I was lifted off my 24-hour hold was Sober Soldierz. And Sober Soldierz has been a part of my life ever since. Today I get to be a part of setting up, which I said the first meeting I ever came to, I said, I'll do it. So here I am to do it. And I've been blessed. My grandma's got 4-stage lung cancer, and so she's only got a couple months left to live. By the grace of God, I get to go on a Greyhound bus tonight to go to Omaha to visit her for at least 24 hours, and then I got to come back, and I didn't think that was going to be possible. On top of the impossibilities and the way God works, I got to hug my son for the first time in 3 years last Sunday. So God works in mysterious ways, and I knew 2020 was going to be mysterious, but I'm glad it brought me into 2021 sober, clean, and ready for fun. Thanks for letting me speak.
I'm Ann, and I'm an addict. The last year, I was a closet addict for 14 years, and really, unless you lived in my house, you didn't know that I had a problem. And then when COVID happened, and I had to start working from home, and the only people I saw was my partner and my kids, who I love, but 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I was no longer a closet addict. I instead used from the time I woke up till the time I went to bed. And in March, I had a complete mental breakdown from the usage and seeing how it affected my children. And so I started in therapy, and it didn't take her very long to realize I had a problem. And I'm so thankful that she found Prelude for me and helped me get everything set up, that within a week I entered treatment, and I did complete a 28-day program where I originally thought I was just going to get some clean days and go home. But I had a lot of experiences while in treatment that really can't be explained by anything other than God showing me that I needed a lot more than 28 days, and so I also moved over to the Bernie Lorenz house, and I'm very proud to say I have 75 days today. I have let go of a lot of the emotional trauma that led to my addictions, and I am confident that when I leave Bernie Lorenz, that I will stay clean, and a lot of that will be because of Sober Soldiers. They are also the first meeting that I went to, and the meeting that I've clicked with from day one, and you guys are awesome, and I love you. And I'll pass.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Robert, and I'm in recovery, recovering meth addict, 28 years. So what has God done for me in 2020? Well, he's kept loving me, that's for one thing. You know, he's never given up on me, even though I've given up on him multiple times. But this year, I guess you could say I went to him this year and asked him to give me some courage to get off my lazy boy chair after work and take action and do something with my life before I withered away. So what's God done for me? He's given me you guys in this church and in this meeting, and my children, and my mom in Phoenix. Hi, Mom. So, and Dick, her husband Dick. So she's part of my recovery. That's one thing I didn't have for 18 years of my life was her. Because of my addiction, I didn't have these guys right next to me, my son and my daughter, for 10 plus years because of my addiction. So anyway, I'm just glad to be here. I'm just every day I focus on God and trying to learn His Word, because I want to be able to help others like TJ, like what he's doing for other people, and just get out there and do the right next best thing. So with that, I'll pass.
Thanks, Robert. Hi, I'm CJ. I'm in recovery. Hey. And, what a year it's been for me since last 4th of July. So last 4th of July, kind of back up. So in March, I'm not one to go fishing for stuff. And so I never looked in my boyfriend's phone or anything. And so the person that I was with, he was just acting really weird. So his phone was in his pocket, and I looked and just said, this girl just popped up or whatever, and so I put it back. So I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, but I just let it go and just prayed, and I just prayed about it. But he still just kept acting weird. Well, on July 4th, he left his phone in the car, and I had to run somewhere. But I didn't know whose phone it was because there was his daughter using my car and everything, and so this phone just kept blowing up, just like crazy. So I finally picked it up, and it was that same girl, and this was like 11 o'clock at night. And so I just what is going on? And but I asked him, I was like, hey, your phone is just blowing up because it died. I didn't answer it. I wasn't that brave. But it just died. So I asked him about it, and he was like, oh, it's just a nurse from work because he was a maintenance supervisor. So I just believed him. But that just set up events in my life that kind of led me to here because, like I said, I don't fish for anything because why, worry about that stuff. But in December, I find out that was his ex that he was talking to for 9 months and lying about it. And so normally I'm just a girl of endurance, and I stay and work things out. But December 9th, I just walked out and packed my stuff and never looked back. And then I found this journey, and so I just feel so blessed. I went into 2020 at 40, and I knew it was going to be the best year of my life, and it turned out to be crazy, but really it was the best year of my life. And like I said, I'm on a new journey. I never would have imagined all the friends I have, and partnering with TJ and Cody, meeting them, and there's so much I could say. But so 4th of July to me is just like a celebration of the journey and happiness, and what I have. My cup filled so over now and is overflowed with so much love and joy, and just because I choose myself and God. And for the first time, it took 41 years to put myself first and God. And yeah, and it really is an awesome journey when you do that. And so with that, I'll pass. My name's Rachel, and I'm in recovery, and I'll be sharing my testimony next Thursday. So I want to hear what everybody else in this room has to say. We have a lot of people here.
I'll keep it quick too. I'm Nick. I'm an addict, and I'm thankful for this group. Huh? Yeah, and because you saved Rachel's life, I believe that, and so you saved our marriage. So I'm very appreciative of that to you guys. Well, everybody here, but you guys that started this, I'm grateful to you guys. That's it.
Hi there, I'm Crystal, and I'm an alcoholic addict in recovery. What God has done for me in my life since 2020, well, I'll just start and kind of retract back to like February. I had graduated Project Iowa, and I had got certified in OSHA 10 and forklift, just certified in all computer things, and just getting my self reacclimated with life. I had been out of 4 graduates to give my testimony, and I was certified in OSHA 10 and forklift. I got my driving privileges reinstated when I was barred or suspended. I'm off of probation. In July of last year, retract, and then in March of last year, I lost my friend Supa that had helped me get clean from alcohol, which I'm 2 years and 3 months free, clean from hard liquor today. And then in March is when I got linked up with Sober Soldierz because of my friend dying, and got to speak at the Kingdom Connections house in May. In July, I was at the Capitol tent revival at the Capitol, and I had the spirit of suicide prayed off of me, and I linked up with the organization called Faithful Envoy, which helps to fight and prevent human sex trafficking. I have been able to save and got a new car. I had an increase in my rating in VA benefits. I was also in a Team Jesus women's recovery house for 40 days, where I did community outreach, helping the homeless and feeding them in the homeless camps. And I'm just here recently, within the last 2 weeks, my 2 properties were literally like on the last leg of verge of like literally being gone for good. But I saved it and got it redeemed. And then here just starting up, I'm going to be starting up community outreach with Kingdom Life called Bigger Than That, because God is definitely bigger than all our problems. And I'm just out here helping the homeless, the vets, and recovering addicts, and shining my light before all men, because I'm a warrior woman for the Lord's army, a daughter of the King of Kings, and I'm just here to, be a witness of God's glory and a testament to what He can do. And I'm 4 years and 3 months free from self-harming, and it wouldn't be possible without Jesus, Celebrate Recovery, Sober Soldierz, and cultivating old friendships and new friendships. God brought restoration, reconciliation, and rebuild my relationship with my mom, and I just lost her. So now I'm parentless, but God is the ultimate parent, and He always has your back, as Jesus is the main MVP. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dee Dee, and I'm a recovering addict. Hey. What God has done for me, He showed me back. He brought me back to Him, for one. And then also the Sober Soldierz family. Couldn't have done it without you guys. With that, I will pass.
Hi, I'm Jason, recovering addict. I'm grateful. I came to this church about a year ago. I think they were just getting underway, Andrew and so forth. Had a little gathering outside. Stepped away for the whole COVID thing, trying to find a church home. And I'm just grateful that I came back to here, and and I can shine the light, and Jesus can shine through me out in the world. And thanks, everyone.
I'm Cody. I'm recovery. So I want everybody to have a chance to share, so I'll just be really quick about what God has done in my life. When I met TJ back in January, it was actually January 11th, 2020, a day I'll never forget. I didn't love me. I didn't know me. I thought I was worthless. I didn't think I would ever sit in a room full of people that look at me with love and conviction in their eyes. I felt like my destined life plan was to be the guy begging for change on the side of the road. I did not see myself, I didn't have any value. And like TJ said, divine intervention is a new word in my life, and I've been going back and replaying this tape of Sober Soldiers that has happened in my life since January 11th. And because of everybody I've met through the church, everybody I've met through Sober Soldiers, I can sit here and say today, and I get a little emotional thinking about it, like, I don't know what broke me. I don't know why I never loved myself. I don't know these things. But I know today that because of all of you people in this church, in the community that I have inserted myself in, and the community with Sober Soldiers that I have molded into what I personally needed as a family, I love myself. I love everything about me, and I owe all that to everybody in this room. Everybody on Facebook Live, every person I meet brings another little piece of love into my life, and I guess that's my that's what's happened for me since last year, 2020. I owe a lot. I owe a lot to TJ. It was my first thing. I never believed in God, and that was one thing. We was going through some stuff in Prelude, and he's his first thing. Honestly, I thought he was a jerk, and. The first words he really even spoke to me was, "Did you ever just try to pray about it?" And I was like, "No, I don't know nothing about that." And then I just tried it, and I did. I sat in my little bunk in the Prelude, and I cried about it, and I prayed about it, and here I am today. Like Toby said, look what Jesus did. Oh, he missed it. I gotta replay that so nobody act like I said that before. Like Toby has said, just a minute ago. Look what Jesus did. Anyways, we're going to get the microphone around and let everybody get a chance to share, so I'm going to shut up now. Thank you for letting me speak.
Hi, I'm David.
Hey, David.
2020 through to today has been a very long time. A lot's happened, but as kind of a young kid, it's very confusing for me. And what God has done for me since 2020 has taught me that when I fall down, I need to get back up on my 2 feet and try it again. And he also taught me that I don't know everything I think I do. My dad's been pretty good at teaching me that, so that's all I've really got to say.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Noah. Man, God's taught me a lot over the last year, and I'm just excited to be a part of the community, excited to see everything God's doing in Sober Soldiers. And it's cool to be in the room, just happy for everything God's doing. So.
Hi, I'm Julia. Hi. I'm a daughter of addicts, and so what 2020 has taught me is that my dad passed away last year of alcohol addiction, and just being able to see the Sober Soldiers group has been really great to kind of understand the other side. Sorry. And so I'm very appreciative of seeing you guys and hearing your stories and understanding how hard it was and how hard it is, and just being able to understand my family a little more, and growing from that. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'm so glad you guys are here.
I'm Vince Belt. I'm Noah's dad, and I'm just visiting today. But it's encouraging to hear the work of God that He does in people's lives, and I just want you to know, like, we don't live in this area. We live in a different city, but you're in our hearts and in our prayers, and I'm excited to see what God does in 2021. But I'm excited that God brought us through 2020, and think of this thought: even though the virus is in a lot of people and it transfers, the Bible says that the Holy Spirit lives in you and it transfers. So the things that God is doing in you will change the lives of the people around you. And we're excited to be here and to see what God does. Amen.
So I'm Bob, also known as Big Bob. Once in a while I'll speak. So my life has been just growing up. I've lived in several different states. I've had money, I've had no money. I've just had several different jobs growing up, whatever. So kind of life can just feel like it's a wish-wash, like sending you in all different directions. But 2020 really taught me that God has a plan, and it doesn't matter how low you get, He has a plan for you, and just have faith in that. So that's what I got.
I'm just Bob's dad. Well, it's hard at a moment like this to have something to say, because I've never myself suffered from addictions, but I've seen it in my family, and I've seen it. My wife Evie and I live in Las Vegas area. We live in Henderson, Nevada, and there's lots of things there that are a problem, but there they struggle with it like you do here, and the only way that you can survive it and thrive through it is with God on your side. If you don't pray, you don't really have a chance of changing anything, and you can't change until you've got God with you. But you have to want to change, I guess. That's probably, I grew up all the time in my life being in the church. I've never been outside of the church, but I've had to at times remind myself that's not what matters. It doesn't matter how long I've been in church or aware of the Bible or having knowledge of the Bible, but I think growing up in a family like that, I got to see things that probably very few of you saw, and that is some of the things on the good side, what we would call a good side of life. But I found that through all these years, it's not what you have that matters. It's who you are and who you know. And one of the toughest things to do is, and I think you all would attest to this, to sit down and say, this is who I am. Yeah, but it's not my fault. Maybe. But this is who you are, and you can change. If you need to change, I'm not saying anybody should change. Anybody needs to change. You have to, when you know who you are, and don't let other people around you tell you, well, this is who you are. If it's not what you know in your mind with God speaking to you, that's not who you should be, you need to fix it. And this group is a wonderful place to start, because it takes a lot of support sometimes to make a big difference in your life. Thank you for having us here.
I'm Evie. I am Bob's mom. And that's all I got.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a church member here, and I've been here about 23 years. I have seen TJ in so many stages, And I am so proud of what he has done and what this group has brought to our church. For all of you, but for us too. For us to see the changes God makes. I mean, we know in our hearts and we've seen it, but sometimes it just gets old hat. And you guys have opened a lot of eyes here to how much change can happen and all the great things God does, because sometimes you just forget. It just happens and you go on. And there's just been so much going on here, and I'm so proud of everyone that is involved in Sober Soldiers with our church. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Dawn, and I'm an alcoholic. And this is my church. This is where I come to worship. I'm not really involved with Sober Soldiers yet. But in 2020, the Lord saved my life. I went to House of Mercy and got sober. I don't really remember much else about the year, to be honest, last year. But to end it, the Lord found me, and it had to be divine intervention, and I was there. And I'm pretty healthy now. I started a little cleaning service here in the Junction, and I go to AA, and when I was going through my third step of spirituality, I didn't feel like it was enough, so I found this church, started coming here to worship, and if God willing, I'm on the baptism list. So, thank you.
Hi, my name's Johanna. First of all, I am Andrew's aunt. And we started coming here. We have always been in Open Bible, but we decided to start coming here. And 2020, the biggest thing for me was I adopted my 2-year-old grandchildren that are the twins downstairs, the little blondes. I adopted those in December, and that was the highlight of my life.
They don't mean nothing. Shirley's not much of one to talk, and I'm not either, but I'm the old dog around here. In more ways than one. This is a sidelight. We had a wedding anniversary a couple weeks ago, 65 years. It wasn't all pleasant and happy and all that good stuff like you might think, but God has been with us the whole time. I was born and raised in Illinois. My parents were farmers, so I knew how you were supposed to work on the farm. I was privileged in the fact, and this is not to be unkind to anybody else, I never have ever experienced some of the stuff that you, Sober Soldiers, and anybody else has had to endure to become clean. I live kind of a privileged life in that fact because I went to church. If there was a church service going on, we were there. I don't care. When I first started going to church, we had Sunday school, church service. Sunday night, you went back for a youth group. Then you had evening service. Then they had a Tuesday night service and a Thursday night service. Then you started it all over. That was my life in my early beginnings. I can remember I don't remember the day, but I remember the exact spot in the church of Galesburg, Illinois, where I knelt on my knees, and I had a really good friend who was about 6'5" lead me to Christ in the middle of a hallway. And it's never been the same since. And since I commend all you folks. It's been like somebody said, it's been interesting to see how I guess I can't think of a better word than say the atmosphere or the feel of the congregation, because everybody wants to talk to everybody and see how you're all doing. Well, I'm doing. So to give it back to the question, I said all that, I guess, to say this. I had a knee surgery, was my choice, last year. 30 days to the day, I landed in the hospital, and I don't know how many doctors come and talk to me, but the one that I remember having come to talk to me, I know what he started to say, but he ended up saying, "You had us concerned." That kind of shocked me a bit. But they must have done something right, and the Lord did his job as well, because I had a lot of stuff going into my body from little tubes and stuff hanging on a tree. But the third day or so, I recovered enough to go home. I should not be here today. Thank you. My wife probably should not be here either, but I'm not going to tell you her story because it's her story. So anyway, I'm going to pass here in a second, but I'm glad all you guys are here. This church has not been the same since, and it probably won't be the same forever. But the thing that is, no matter what the attire is, it's not the attire, it's the heart. And there's one thing I keep saying, and that wasn't it. Prayer works.
Hi, I'm Evelyn, and I am Andrew's grandmother. I'm Johanna's mother, and I am a great-grandmother to the twins downstairs, plus a whole lot of more. But what I want to say about 2020 in my life was during COVID, we decided that we had been driving clear across the town to the east side to church, and we needed to find a church closer. Since Andrew was here, we decided to try here, and I believe that was the Lord's leading. We came into, I was married in West Des Moines when it was downtown, so I have a history with, yeah, you were there, and we're the old folk. The old dogs. We walked into the church and had been here before visiting, but I hadn't been aware of the Sober Soldierz. But the first time that we came after COVID and when we decided that this was where we maybe wanted to come, I felt two spirits here. One was the spirit that came from Dwayne and his group in his age bracket of a solid church foundation. And then I felt the spirit of excitement coming from this other group over there, which I wasn't aware of what it really was. Just that I felt your excitement. I felt your love. I felt your dedication to what you had decided you were going to do. I have alcoholism in my family, several areas, and addictions to alcoholism. And I thought, if only every person out there with an addiction could feel this spirit, how great that would be. And then I wanted to make this my church home for now, because I felt that deep commitment that this group had and this group had, but they're no longer this group and this group. They're one group. And I felt that.
My name is John, alcoholic. I started with Sober Soldierz like 2 weeks ago, and Juan showed me to come here, and I started getting drunk at 27 years old. I'm 29 now. I went to college parties. It was a lot of fun. It's not fun. I brought beer to college parties, and I kept getting drunk. I threw beer bottles at cop cars. I got arrested for that. I even punched a cop. One of them. I threw a knife at a cop. I'm not a felon, but if I drink again while I'm on probation, I would be a felon, and then I would go to prison. That's it. I pass.
Thanks, John. We're glad you're here. I'm Chad. I am an alcoholic. Hey, Chad. What God did for me in 2020, well, is what I can't do for myself, you know. That's stay sober and, meet more sober people in my life and get to meetings like these and just enjoy the fellowship, not to when I was out and drinking and using, I just didn't like to be around anybody. But today, and I'm just ready to see what all this fun's about, the dunk tank, and enjoy the 4th with all these great sober people. I'll pass with that. Thanks, Chad. Hey, I'm Dee Dee. I'm in recovery. Hey, church, this is amazing because Revelation says, and I will say it over and over again, that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb, which is Jesus, and the word of our testimony. And I got to tell you, all of heaven is circling this place right now. And the angels are excited because they see what God's doing in this place. Sober Soldiers already know my story, but just a little short snippet of my story is that I've been a Christian. I've loved Jesus for 50 years. I struggled with addiction and a real broken home life growing up, and ended up getting sober for 13 years and got in ministry and just was really walking in all the gifts that God had me. And then we stepped away from ministry, just had a sabbatical for a period of time, and I decided that I was all healed from that stuff, and maybe I could socially drink again. And so I did that, and that went okay for a couple years until it didn't go okay because it wasn't what God wanted for me. And you can kind of think that you have an illusion of control in your life, when the waves in your life are 2 feet tall and 4 feet tall and 5 feet tall, but when a hurricane hits your life, all control goes out the door. And that's what happened to me in 2019 is both of my friends died within 2 months. My friends of 30 years that were my mentors and my sisters in the Lord, of cancer. And a hurricane hit my life, and I fell off the wagon hard. And it took me some time to climb out of that. Now, what did God do for me in 2020? I mean, all of us. Like, how did we pick like a pandemic to get sober? God brought me through the pandemic totally sober, so that's amazing. And I got to tell you guys, like I said, I've been a Christian for 50 years, and in church, and loved Jesus, and in ministry for years. And there was a point in my life a couple years back where I was kind of disillusioned, not with Jesus. Man, he's my buddy. He's my homeboy. I love Jesus. Never had a problem with him, but I had a problem periodically walking into churches where it just seemed like his spirit wasn't there. It just seemed like people were dead and people were just walking through the motions and people weren't excited about what he was doing in their life and actively just listening and having a relationship with him. And when I walked into this place, and saw Andrew and Victoria and their hearts for Christ, and their simplicity. And then I got involved with Sober Soldiers. You guys, God has brought personal revival to me this year. I'm so excited to go to church every Sunday and every Wednesday because of the Sober Soldiers. Because you guys are people that, I spoke at the ladies' retreat a couple months ago that we had here at West Des Moines. And one of the things I said, I shared my testimony, and I said that, the church can really learn can learn a lot from people in recovery. Because when you walk in a recovery room or in a Sober Soldiers meeting, sometimes in church we all pretend like we're doing okay, and we put our Facebook faces on and look, our family's great and everything's perfect. And we all know that isn't true, even for church people and people don't struggle with addictions. We all have struggles, and we all have things hopefully we're trying to get better. And so what I love about the recovery community, about Sober Soldiers, is when I walk in these doors, it's just a given that every single one of us knows that we have weaknesses, and we are all just here linking arms on this journey and helping each other recover. And you guys have brought personal revival. You guys make me excited. Wednesday night Bible studies sometimes can be so boring, you guys. And with the Sober Soldiers there, they are not boring. God's word is not boring. And my husband and I started this year back in ministry again and teaching Wednesday night Bible studies. And I'm like, the Sober Soldiers don't know that Leviticus can be a boring book. They're just excited, and they're asking awesome life-changing questions, and they're digging into scriptures, and we're getting life lessons, and we're becoming a family, and we laugh, and we have a great time. And somehow on Wednesday nights at Bible study, there's always cake. It just shows up. I don't know how. But you guys have brought personal revival to me this year. I'm so excited to be in fellowship in a church and also in a recovery community and worship with people who know what they've been saved from and aren't afraid to show it and to worship God and to help others. So with that, I'll pass. I love you guys.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm Jason's mom. And some of you know Jason because Dee Dee brings him to the meetings and stuff. And I've been kind of watching you guys from the periphery. My work hours frequently make it so I can't kind of attend what you guys are doing. But what Dee Dee was saying about testimony, that hits the nail right on the head. I'm listening to you guys, and it just, wow, it's knocking me out. I have those so-called socially acceptable addictions and, the closet destructive behaviors. And you guys give me hope that I don't have to waste away into oblivion with my bad habits and things that are destructive to my life. And while you were sharing about the two spirits, I got a picture in my mind about Aaron's rod budding. That foundation from the old folks is Aaron's rod, and the budding is you guys. Boom! Yeah. You're just blossoming, and that's that life that's springing forth. And so you are part of that foundation, whether you know it or not. But that's that new life, and it's springing forth. And I just want to encourage you with that. Lazarus, come forth. The dead stuff that was in you has fallen away, like the grave clothes. They're falling away, and that new life is coming forth, and you have nothing but lovely things ahead of you. It may be a mountain to climb, but God's going to give you the foot spikes upon which you can climb up. All you got to do is continue to reach for it, and it's a struggle, but you can do it. Thanks for letting me hang with you guys. I really appreciate it.
Hello. My name's Mama Sandy. I have the honor of all these people calling me Mama Sandy, except for this one here is really my son, in my heart, always. But God's been walking with me since 1999, and it traveled with me all these 24 years that I got clean. So in March will be 25 years. Was it a struggle? Yes. Big struggle. I was clean for a year and went right back to it again because I was playing in the same playground, which happens to be my kids. and their friends. So I was a mom to a lot of East Side people, sometimes in the wrong way, but then I went and got clean and walked with God so my kids could see me walking with God, so that maybe I could shine a light on them. And this year, God has been great for me. I was diagnosed with cancer a month ago, colon cancer, and they took the cancer out, and they got it all. This is the third bout of cancer that I've had in all these years, and God's always brought me through. So evidently he must know that I'm not ready to go meet him yet. I know in my heart and talk to him. If it wasn't, I lost my son. Like, it'll be 6 years, and I was kind of like depressed. I was here, but I wasn't here. If that can be, part of me. When he left, part of me went too. But then I kept seeing Sober Soldiers on TV, on live stream and stuff, and I'm looking, and it just got me this excitement. It was almost like my son was talking to me, like saying, "Mom, you need to join them. You need to share your story. You need to walk with them. You need to try to help bring them out of this world." And so I joined, and it was the best thing I could have ever done, It's helped me more and easier. I know that my son is watching everybody, and I know that he's with me. And I know that if it wasn't for God and him, I probably would have never found this group. I'm 76 years old, but I still can go around. I can still talk. I can still give my knowledge, the pain that I went through to get straight, to know that there is a better world. I've got like 10 great grandkids of my own, but I've got 50,000 million grandkids and kids out in those. And there's not a better honor to be called mom or grandma than me being that, I've always been called mom. I've always been called mom by him. He's my sweetheart. I love this boy. Yes, him and my son grew up together, so he was a fixture in my house. Sometimes, if I didn't want to throw him out. But I love every single one of you, and I'm so thankful for this group, and I will keep coming and sharing, and I'm always available to talk. I'm a good listener. I don't have all the answers. I just know what God did for me, and I know that you guys can all do this. I know that it can work. And the first thing is, when you want to go and first take that drink, or you want to go first take that thing, call somebody. Call me. I don't care if it's in the middle of the night. I'll come out and sit with you until it's over. Tracy knows that. I'll knock her around until she gets herself straight. So my phone's always open. My love's always here. With that, I will pass.
My name's Sam. I'm an addict. I've been emotional as hell since I walked in the door. I've never been, let me tell you, 2020 was shit for me. I had 36 days clean, and towards the end of it, let me go back a little bit. I was in the middle of a divorce, and it was an ugly one, because her and I are both some retards. God bless her. And I was in my drug-induced mind. I thought some stupid shit was going on, and I'd get a little wind of something. Somebody would give me something, and I've been disrespectful to a lot of people. I've made amends for that, I think, and for that I'm grateful, because I've never been one to say that I believe in God. I've never even said that there was a God. I've always said that I don't believe in no religions. I believe in something after here, because I've seen so many things since my fiance died almost 6 years ago that it's unexplainable. And this lovely, lovely mother of mine here, she has been trying to keep me in church for I don't know how fucking long. But
You'll get there.
she was diagnosed with cancer a month ago, and my mom put stage 4 cancer in remission last year. And so there's a lot of a lot of shit going on in life, but for some reason they're still here and they're still pushing me along and making sure we're going to figure out our way. But what has God done for me? That's the first time I've even acknowledged that there is a God, to be honest with you, because when I go back and think about it, I was at my divorce attorney's coming out of there, and I was fucking a train wreck. I was high, too, but I was a mess. I was sitting on the stairs, and some guy come up to me that I had no fucking clue who he was. Sorry, I cuss a lot. I'm sorry. I apologize. I had no clue who he was. And he said, "What's going on, bud?" I said, "My life's a mess." He said, "Can I pray for you?" Nothing else is working. Why not? Give it a shot. And when he did, I felt something. I felt better. I felt something start working inside me. You know, and this woman prays for me probably every night. But he actually put his hands on me, and there was something about it. And then towards the end of the year, before I went to treatment in January, I was in one of the sober houses. And not for a good reason. I wasn't there to get sober. But at the end of that time that I had in there, they all prayed for me. The more I think back on it, the more I realize that God's been trying to get in my life all the time. You know, and right when I walk in here, they talk about baptizing and all that stuff, and I believe I'll be signing up for this week. So. My wife is a firm believer in God. Thank God I still have my wife. And she's an amazing woman, and I put her through hell. And I was clean from methamphetamines for almost 6 months up until about 9 days ago. And I fell off the wagon for about 4 days. But I had something in my subconscious. Like somebody said something about self-conscious. It's not self-conscious no more. I keep saying it's my conscience talking to me. It's not my conscience talking to me. It's something bigger than me. Telling me, "Hey, stupid, it's time to go home." You know, and I love my wife. I love my family. And it's time to get back home. That'll pass.
My name is Robert, and I'm a grateful recovering addict. One of the greatest things God has done for me this year was teach me accountability. You know, because without accountability, my world is a mess. And I'm sure that applies to everybody else in this room. You know, if there's no one else to be accountable to, that's to be accountable to God, you know. There's no one in this room that I have to be accountable to except to God. But it does help to have people in your circle that you're accountable to. Because when somebody's calling you out on your shit and keeping you honest, that's what's going to keep you on the right track. You know, there was a point in time where I despised looking in the mirror. Looking in the mirror was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do. But today I can look in that mirror and say that I love myself because now I have accountability. Now I know what it's like to be responsible for my actions. And in doing so, God has also taught me that I have a desire to help other people. You know, it's my job to tell you what works for me and to be an influence on other people. You know, this thing that Sober Soldierz has got going on here is definitely God sent. And without God's direction, nothing is possible. And you know, with that being said, anything is possible when you're in God's hands. And you know, that was a hard lesson for me to learn because, you know, July 6, 1996, I got saved. And I ran from God ever since. Until 825 days ago, God said he had enough. he had enough and put me on my knees, put me on my back even, you know. That's a story for another day, but I'm going to say, you know, accountability in recovery is important. What it also teaches you is how to love yourself. And one other thing that God has done for me this year is God gave me you.
I love you.
Everybody soak that in for a second. That was good. So we're gonna be ready to close here soon. So I know the microphone is gonna go down that way. If anybody has anything they really need to share. Also, we encourage everybody to, you know, if you're not a part of the Sober Soldierz Facebook page, we encourage everybody to to join that. And you know, there's a live button. You can share your thoughts and feelings and stories on there, as well as you know, just typing up a post and sharing with everybody. We love it when people go on there and give testimony and share their recovery and everything that's going on. So I know there's somebody back here that wants to share, and then if anybody over here needs to share really quick or wants to share really quick. No. Okay. I just wasted 6 steps of my life. Thanks, guys.
Hi, my name is Sarah. And I've been blessed to be a part of this church ever since I was born. And this year has been really hard, but really good. I thought it was really bad for a long time. For months, I thought God was just taking stuff away from me, taking people away from me, but I ended up realizing it was stuff that I was holding on to too tight, stuff that I didn't need anymore, people that were ready to go anyway. I lost my grandmother in January, and we just got to have her memorial service in California recently, which was really awesome. I got to sing a song for her, and I was really blessed to do that. And then something else that I got to let go of this year was I was finally able to open up about something I'd been holding on to for years and years. When I was a little girl, I survived rape by a man that was brought into my family, and for a while I thought it was going to break me, but God carried me through.
Amen. All right. My name is Ida. Hi. I'm only standing because I'm actually closing. So first and foremost, thank you so much for everybody for being so amazingly vulnerable, because it's hard to do, and we totally appreciate that. As Noah and Julie were saying, you know, for those of us who have not had the same type of addiction, it's great for us to understand and try to understand. And you guys make it so easy to ask questions when we don't know how to ask those questions. So thank you for letting us ask you questions that may sound silly to us, or we don't know how to ask them. So thank you, we appreciate that. We appreciate you sharing. You are amazingly awesome. Sober Soldierz, you're amazingly awesome. You are loved, you are divinely created, you are uniquely made. So do not let the enemy put shit in your head. Very simply. Thank you. Yes. It is so, so thank you again. We appreciate you stepping in while Pastor Andrew and Victoria and their family can take a much needed relaxed break. We do have a card to thank you. It has everybody's name on it, but you get to be the holder of. And we will close, as Sober Soldierz normally does, with Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Again. Okay. Again, everybody in here is welcome to the extravaganza. The dunk tank is filled. We are going to set up, have a little lunch down there. If you guys want to stick around to set up. Yeah, overfilled. It did overfill. That's why, and I do want to apologize. That's why I left. Had something will ring my bell that the dunk tank was still running. So I had to run downstairs and it was overflowing. But everybody's invited to the extravaganza. We probably won't kick it off till 2. There is a lot of fruit and stuff downstairs. If you want to go grab and pack a cooler, grab a lawn chair. We encourage you guys. We're going to be here all afternoon. Free food. Come join us. Come hang out. You ain't got nothing to do. We got plenty of hot dogs, plenty of hamburgers, plenty of fruit, plenty of sides. So the extravaganza will be going all day in the back parking lot. Thanks, everybody, for a great morning.